Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge. It is August 24th, Thursday, 7 a.m. New York time. We're here. We're back. We're on the road to $2 million. It's been a bumpy road for the last 7 weeks. But it's all right. Summer's almost over. We're going to get back to taking down these trophy bucks here pretty soon. 10K to $2 million funding challenge sponsored by Bespoke Funding Program. And if you're looking to take a challenge or participate, buy a new challenge, get funded, use that discount code Venator. You get 15% off, 85% profit split. If you want to use the Bespoke, whatever their current promotion is, which is always just slightly better than the discount I can get you, then be sure to use that affiliate link I have in the YouTube bio, and you can use that link and it will help the stream out. But glad you guys are back. Hopped over in the Discord just very briefly this morning and saw that some of you guys have been in some trades already. There were some pretty decent setups on GU and EU this morning, and saw some of you caught some of that. So way to go, way to go. But yeah, it's Thursday. We've got some news coming out at 8:30 this morning. We've got unemployment claims and durable goods orders for USD coming out at 8:30. The unemployment claims are the ones that I'm most interested in, that typically will bring some volatility into the markets. Excuse me. Besides that, there's not much else going on. If we can get into a setup here right away this morning, I would probably look to do that. I don't know that I really see anything. I honestly, guys, I kind of think that we might chop for the next day or two. That's kind of my gut feeling as I look through the charts and I look at where we're at on the daily time frame. We've tapped into draws on liquidity. Not that we couldn't come back down here, but I could build a case, and I'll show you why. That now that we've tapped into the liquidity, excuse me, now that we've tapped into this was our draw on liquidity here. We've tapped right down into it. We've taken out this old weekly swing low level. I could see we could fill this in today and tomorrow and close aggressively below this. We could. I kind of feel like the low of the week is in. That's my gut feeling. Is that low of the week is in, and we just kind of chop, and this becomes a very neutral candle from today. Maybe we come down a little bit, we come up a little bit, we come back down. That's kind of what I'm vibing with. So with that in mind, there's really no good clean fair value gaps on the daily here. We have the weekly high sitting up here, which I think stays in place. I think yesterday's low could potentially stay in place. We've already taken out yesterday's high and we've pulled back off of it. I think we could come back down into this weekly level right here. I just don't think we get all the way back down here to this low. So because of that, I would be, and you can see this gap, this volume imbalance here. I don't know if it shows up on your charts, but there's a volume imbalance here. I could see something where we we head lower, maybe rebalance some of that volume gap. There's some imbalances here. You have, this is the big move news down yesterday, and then we've just moved back up. So all of this has been rebalanced. This move back up could potentially, you could see a move down into here, and then maybe you move back up, and you just consolidate. I don't think we get back up here. I would be surprised if we do, and I reserve the right to be wrong and stupid with my analysis. But my gut says we are more likely to chop, take out some highs, kind of seek and destroy profile here. We take out some sell side, and then we take out some buy side. With that in mind, what we're looking for, since I don't have a super strong higher time frame draw on liquidity because it's already been tapped into, I'm going to be looking for moves down into this area and then moves away from this area. So basically just looking for a clear buy side or sell side run of liquidity and then a very clear displacement away. So that's what I'm going to be looking for today and tomorrow to finish out the week. If today gives us something and shows us that no, we're definitely still going to reach for new lows, and the low of the week isn't in yesterday, then that's fine. We can continue on with our bias, which is bullish dollar. Excuse me. You can see yesterday, we've taken out yesterday's low and we've reversed back up. Yesterday failed to displace and close above the draw on liquidity here. I thought we might get up to this small little volume imbalance here on the dollar. It reached up to it, but it left it in place, which means I think we're going to go back up there at some point. But you can see we're starting to we took out sell side, we took out buy side, and now we're back inside this kind of choppy, boxy range right there. Back into moving sideways. We've moved away from moving straight up to moving to chop, 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 chop. So I don't expect a lot different here from the dollar than some more rangy type play. And you can see here on the 4 hour, seek and destroy, take out sell side, take out buy side, back into the range. So it wouldn't surprise me, just much like on EU, we could come back up into this area again, back up into some of these highs that were previous draws of liquidity. I think we could come back down here. I don't think we get all the way down to the low of the week, but I think we could just do this number right here. So we'll be looking on the lower time frames for, like I said, on EU, very clear runs of liquidity, and then displacements in the opposite direction after liquidity is taken. So we're going to be looking for old swing lows and highs to be ran and then displacement away. So if we think price might come back up in here, what you would want to see is a run of this swing low here and then displacement away. Alternatively, you might want to see a run of this liquidity and then displacement away. Or this could be the run of liquidity, and then you just see displacement down through here, and you could get into a short move back down into some of these levels. So all that to say, that's exactly what we were anticipating, is this draw on liquidity. We tapped into it, and now that that's been reached, it could just fly back up and right into this today. It could just move aggressively all the way up. I kind of vibing with a more choppy scenario here to finish out the week. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So you do have a couple of nice little fair value gaps, sell side inefficiencies here that it may want to reach up into. It hasn't quite reached up into this one. On the 30-minute, you can see it a lot more clearly. It may want to run that and then displace through, and then you could run it back down into the bottom of this range and this sell side liquidity down here. GU pretty similar. Not much difference. GU has a lot clearer draw on liquidity in my mind still. It did briefly tap into that low right there. This low yesterday did tap into that liquidity and then pulled back aggressively. We have not taken out yesterday's high or low like we have on EU and DXY. So there is still some clearer, higher time frame draws on liquidity, but this is the daily time frame. Look, what are we doing? What are we doing here? This is not a trending, this is just engineering liquidity for the fall over on these higher time frames. We're just engineering sell side, we're engineering buy side, so that when we get into September and October, we can tap into this stuff and get a clearer, hopefully trending direction for the remainders of 2023. But there is very clear draw on liquidity here to the sell side. You also have a pretty clear draw on liquidity up here on the weekly high. So, but it's just chopping, and I would not be surprised if, even if you come down a little bit back into these levels, make a new low today, it just kind of reverses and comes back up here today, tomorrow. So I'm same thing, going to be looking for clear runs of liquidity. You have a pretty clear buy side liquidity here. Yesterday's big gap with the news came down, moved back up, and then we've just chopped around through Asia, London. If you wanted to make this play here with GU, it did run a little bit of buy side liquidity. I would have preferred it to take out some of these highs, but it did take out this high right here, the midnight open. Quick run up, displacement down. I probably would have been most interested in this candle here if I was going to trade GU. This is the candle mostly because once you had this up close candle and then it displaced back through, you would anticipate that up close candle acting as an order block. So you have displacement through this low on these two candles. There's not a really super clean fair value gap in there on the 15. There is on the 10 minute. Really nice, pretty setup right there that you could have participated in on GU right there. I don't know if anybody took this one in the chat, but that's the play. Very quick, 1 to 2. You would have moved to break even somewhere down around here, so that would have been a clean winner without getting your break even stopped out. So again, I don't know if anybody took that, but that's the setup that I would have looked at this morning if I was trading the London session. Again, once you've taken out this, you get displacement through. Some of you may have been looking at these candles here, and that's fine. But if you didn't get that entry, once it displaces through the lowest down close candle, you can look and see it's probably not going to come back up here because you now have this 15-minute bearish order block created right there. So that's why you can use this order block with this breaker with the 10-minute fair value gap. That's your whole planned trade setup right there. So again, not sure if anybody took that, but that was a really pretty breaker block setup there on GU this morning. On the EU, I think there were some who ended up taking this breaker here. And it's probably still, it's either a break-even trade, maybe not. It's approaching break-even trade if you're in this trade. But that's probably the breaker that a lot of you were trading off of this morning. It came back up. Even if you had just used this volume imbalance, which is valid as a quote-unquote fair value gap, if you had just used that volume imbalance, I still would have wanted to have my stop up here. And your 1 to 2.1 is about here-ish. So definitely would be at break even. It's coming back up close to entry now, but that would be really unfortunate if you get a break even off of that close to a TP. That sucks. So I think some of you may be in that trade or maybe have closed it out already. But that's actually a really nice looking setup. And again, you don't know which ones are going to run all the way to your TPs and which ones aren't. So it wouldn't surprise me if this thing comes back up inside of here. From this point forward, I would need to see a run of this liquidity here. I think to get short here for me, I'm going to need to see this high taken and then displacement away. Or we need to see a low taken and aggressive displacement higher and targeting some of this buy side liquidity up here. So I'm very neutral today. I'm not, because my higher time frame bias has already been tapped into. I'm just going to be neutral. I have no higher time frame bias, so I'm just going to be watching and looking. I'll be flipping back and forth between like the 1 hour, the 30 minute, and 15 just to see where liquidity is building, what's getting tapped, and what's getting run away from, and see if it makes sense to get into an opportunity there. Here on GJ on the daily time frame, we tapped right back down into yesterday. We tapped through that low into a discount. Didn't quite get down to this fair value gap here as an OTE level. But we did pull away, and now currently we're just very small little tight range inside all of yesterday's range. Still very bullish on GJ. We're definitely in a massive uptrend. I mean, you can just see that it's just since January, we've just been plowing forward here. So, still until you get, for me, if this becomes a swing level, then this is the level I would look for to be broken. Currently, I'm bullish until this level here gets traded through. I would be bullish. So with that in mind, you're looking for runs of liquidity to the sell side and then displacement to the buy side. Because of this big move down and because you could still make yet one more low into an OTE, it does make sense to me that you could use some of these as breakers where you've run some buy side liquidity, you get traded through. On the hourly time frame, you've got some breakers that you're tapping up into here, depending on how you want to use the breaker setup. Which down close candle do you want to use inside of here? There's obviously some very large imbalances that it's tapping up into in conjunction with this basically large breaker block. If you just took all of that and said, look, somewhere up in here, this thing could roll over. But because we're bullish here, I would still lean more towards seeing new highs made at some point here on GJ. Yen's just been so weak, and it's just now in the last couple of days starting to show some willingness to retrace. UJ tapped into our daily breaker yesterday and has just rocketed back off. UJ, much like GJ, has been in an uptrend. This breaker right here tapped right back down into this daily breaker. Didn't get into the fair value gap, and that's okay. It doesn't have to. We've seen plenty of we see plenty of instances on this stream where the fair value gap doesn't get touched and the breaker just gets retested and then it flies away. There is a nice little fair value gap in there that I was thinking it might want to get down into, but yesterday just tapped right into that daily breaker, and now we're continuing to see a push higher, which immediately your eyes draw to yesterday's high on UJ and then these relative equal highs up here that were left behind. UJ is the chat pair of the week. So if you can get through the 1 hour, if you can get some displacement above this high, this could become your breaker. You've grabbed sell side liquidity. This green box is the daily breaker right here that was on that higher time frame we were just on. Tapped right into it, and now it's moving away. So if you can get, like I said, if you can get some displacement above this high, this would become your hourly breaker right here. On a 30-minute or 15-minute time frame, you know, you might be able to see a move down, grab sell side liquidity through here, and then displacement higher, and then continue to try to find something. Currently, it's just trending, and it's not really grabbing sell side liquidity anywhere. It's just making higher lows and higher highs. You're going to want to see some of these higher lows get swept, a quick move down through some of this area, and then displacement away, so that you could participate in a run into these buy side targets here and up in here. I don't know that it's going to give it, but we'll watch. Maybe we can participate in something. US 30, jump up to the daily time frame here, and what do you see? You just see sideways. You just see sideways. We've come back down. We failed to make a new high. We've changed structure. We're definitely bearish here. What we're waiting for is to see what happens when it comes back up to this inverted fair value gap. This fair value gap was traded through. We've tapped up into the most recent fair value gap there, but there's another one just above it right there. So I'm kind of interested to see if price reaches back up into this, does this act as resistance, which is what it should do, and push price lower. You do have very clear relative equal lows. You have some fair value gaps under here on the buy side imbalances that have yet to be tested or rebalanced. So with this clear draw on liquidity here and these fair value gaps, I do think the indexes are still going to be, at least the US 30 could come back down and tap into some of this. Currently living just above these highs, not quite. To me, it's not quite back into this ugly range that we came out of. It's heading that direction. So currently trading and holding kind of above it. I'm interested to see what happens. Does this inverted fair value gap hold price down, or do we trade right back through it and it becomes, you know, a I don't know what ICT calls it, a reclaimed fair value gap or something, and then we make higher highs. But for now, this is where my eye goes to see if price can come back up into that. Where do we go from there? Very clear, nice, clean, relative equal lows underneath all of these lows right here, these 3-4 daily lows, in line with this fair value gap. And it's actually a double fair value gap because you have a BPR. BPR is just a balanced price range. It's where you have two overlapping fair value gaps. It's an ICT concept that you would anticipate price coming back down into, which you also have right here, which is in line with this inverted fair value gap. So again, this is why I think you could see a little push up and then a rollover off of this inverted fair value gap down into this BPR / daily fair value gap here. So that's what US 30 is kind of looking for. But yeah, there's our quick rundown on where we're watching, what we're watching price to do. GJ, I would kind of really love to see this sell side liquidity get run and then displace higher. That would be really nice. It's back up inside this massive, this is a news gap, obviously. Volume imbalance, we traded back up into it. We haven't completely filled it in, but we've traded back up into that volume imbalance. It would be really nice to see GJ maybe sweep these lows here and then whoop, just displace higher and give us a chance for some of these buy side targets. But for DXY, for foreign pairs, I'm going to need to see, again, I'm going to need to see liquidity get swept, like a clear old high or low. So for euro dollar, maybe we see this. If this displaces up through here, maybe we're going to aim higher up into some of this liquidity. But if we see this just get tapped into and not displaced through, if we could just tap into this and then roll over and displace down, then I could be looking for short here. If this is a run of sell side and we get good clean displacement higher here, then you could potentially look for a pullback and then run the buy side liquidity up here. So just very neutral day. I will probably not be doing anything until after the unemployment claim numbers come out at 8:30. So we've got about another hour just to kind of watch and see where it wants to grab liquidity from. So with that in mind, I'm going to jump over to the chat. I'm going to scroll back up, say good morning to some people, and see what you guys are throwing down over there. So Muhammad, good morning. Welcome in. Mr. Alfie, good morning. Ivan Merrick, I don't think I've seen you in here, Ivan, but good morning. Welcome in. Adrian, always good to have you back. ICT Candle Slayer, good morning. Haven't seen you in here in a little while, but welcome back. Muhammad, today was a bad day for me. Made so many mistakes today. Risked 0.4% rather than 1%. TP literally missed by 1 pipette. That sucks. Instead of 7R, I had to close with a 4.85R. Oh, you only had to close with a 4.85R today? God, that sucks. Come on, man. Your only mistake was not keeping your risk management exactly as it should be. Your risk reward ratio, it is the tool. It is your shield. It protects you in drawdown, and it is your sword. It is what offensively gets you into profits or out of drawdown. You need to never mess with your risk management. It needs to be consistent across the board. Don't change it. If you change it when you start losing, you're going to be in drawdown forever. If you change it when you're profitable, you're not going to get the profits that you should have gotten. So congratulations. Dude, you pulled 4.85R out of there. If you were risking 0.4%, that's like what, 1.6 profit? 1.6% profit on a 4.85 risk reward ratio. If you're risking 0.4, you should have made then like over 1% if that's the amount of R you pulled out. And that's awesome. That is nothing ever to be ashamed of or to say I had a bad day about. The only thing you should be upset about is if you broke your rules on how you should handle risk management. Daz, good morning. Swerved again on EU. Getting swerved sucks, man. I know it sucks. It's miserable. I get it. I know the pain. H, what's up? Congratulations for the Bespoke. Oh yeah, I got the Bespoke badge yesterday. I forgot about that. So it was kind of a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting it. We've been messaging. I've been messaging with Max, who is the COO of Bespoke, and he's the one who kind of handles all of the sponsorships and such. And we've been setting up a meeting. We're going to have a call Friday just to kind of go over our first month of sponsorship and talk through how it went and if there's things we can improve or change or does anything need to change, etc. We'll look through and see how many people took advantage of the discount code and, all that kind of stuff. But, and then somebody, I don't even remember who it was, started tweeting out and tagging Bespoke, like, give this guy a badge or something. And, I got a notification that said, hey, Bespoke would like to add you as an affiliate. Please click this link or whatnot. And, so did it and got the badge. So yeah, very cool. Officially badged for Bespoke funding on the Twitters. So kind of cool. They don't hand those out a lot. They have been pretty stingy with giving those out to traders. There are some firms that just give them out like candy, but Bespoke has been pretty stingy about who they want their badge associated with. And so I feel very honored that they're letting me, especially as a sponsor of the stream. It just definitely feels more official for the relationship. So that's kind of cool. It's nice to have. I appreciate whoever it was. I need to go back and look and say, hey, thanks for getting that. There's a few people that have those. Desi Trades, Trader Mike, and then most of the traders that just kind of helped launch Bespoke have them. Kieran Duff, Albert Burgess, of course, Mads the trader. She does all of their social media stuff. There's a couple others. There's not very many, so I definitely do feel grateful and humbled that they would let that go. So, Shadow Trades, what's up? Good evening, man. Good morning, Partha G. LOL, sup? What's up? Michael Dow, good morning. Red Ezekiel, good morning. A couple of you got swerved on EU. That sucks. Second time getting swerved sucks, man. When you see your A+ setup, you see that trophy buck in the woods, you're in your tree stand, you've got it scoped, you see it right there, and you need it just to come out from behind that tree one more step so you can get your perfect shot. And then that thing just gets spooked and takes off, and you're just left, with nothing to do except be pissed off. And I get it, man. It's so frustrating. Getting swerved is Wednesday low of the week profile. Yep, we just talked about that a little bit. Corey, what's up? Yo, Corey, how's your funded account going? Emmanuel, good morning. Michael Dahl, dear Mr. Powell, could be the catalyst for a new weekly low or high tomorrow. Yeah, Powell speaks tomorrow or 10 in the morning, so we could potentially get a lower high of the week tomorrow. I don't know. My gut just says I feel like we're gonna chop. We're just gonna carve out a range. Next week is the end of the month. So I don't know. I just don't have. Now that my higher time frame draws on liquidity have been tapped into, very often my experience has been things starts carving out and engineering more liquidity so that it can set up a run. And as we're coming out of August, we're moving into September. September is going to start with a bank holiday here in the States with Labor Day. I don't know. I just feel like we're gonna close out August in a very doldrum, choppy kind of environment. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong about that. But that's just kind of what my gut says. Ductung Lu, good morning. Michael says I wanted the breaker a bit higher. Yeah, that higher breaker on EU, this one, I know you wanted that. I obviously probably would have been eyeballing that too. But seeing this range here, seeing this huge range, knowing that until you kind of break through that range, you could easily just come down. And this is why I probably would have preferred to see it displaced through here than here. You still would have needed to put your stop above the highest fair value gap. And this would probably, I don't know, we just drew this out. Did that get to break even? It probably did, didn't it? No, it's probably not break even yet. If you took this lower breaker, your entry probably would have been, at least for me, would have been right on that volume imbalance, that small little gap right there. So you're not, I probably would have had an 8 pip stop and 2.1-ish, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's not break even. It's still in profit. If you took that lower breaker, you'd still be in profit right now. But I understand why you would have wanted this breaker here. This is a large fair value gap. It did come back up into the fair value gap. It just didn't get up into that breaker. So, unfortunate. I get it. But this lower range, the lower fair, this down close candle at the bottom of the range is the one that's probably more high probability there. Of course, that's easy for me to say. It's hindsight. It's 2020, right? So, Ben A, has ICT ever explained the reasoning behind the optimal trade entry levels? How do we know they're not just random numbers he's chosen? I don't know. I haven't watched every OTE level video. I've seen many of them. And it's just a healthy retracement is really all it is. It's just probably data. I don't know that it's random as much as it is just data around how price moves, premium discount levels, and the deeper it gets into a premium or a discount lined up with order blocks and fair value gaps, he probably just pulled fibs and recognized, oh my gosh, like, well, my guess is ICT would probably say is I coded it that way. That's probably what ICT would say is because that's the way I wrote it. I told it to do it there. But my guess is just he's got enough data to see when you get a healthy pullback into these fib levels, that's where it's optimally, that's the entry, that's the optimal entry level to continue the trend. So, you know, it's not, if you didn't get an OTE level here on this one, and so you wouldn't have gotten the trade, but if you used this swing, you do get an OTE entry. So, I mean, it's not going to work on every leg, but it does work often enough that it's very easy to build an entire trading system, mechanical trading system, just off an OTE. It's all you got to do. Pull a fib off of the last leg up or down, set an order at either the 0.62 or the point right in the middle at 0.705. You set your stop above the swing, and then you just wait for a break of that low, or you target some standard deviation of the fib. I mean, it's a very, very simple strategy, but my guess is he's just going to say either one, I coded it that way, or yeah, it's just, look, it's you pull a fib off the legs, look where they most often retrace. It's somewhere between the 0.62 and 0.79. So I'm just going to call that my optimal trade entry. So if you had just, you know, you could just build an entire mechanical system just off of that. That's a 6 pip stop. And if you just targeted the low, you get a 1 to 2. If you target a standard deviation, you could increase your either a 1 standard deviation or just some, you know, I know guys that do 0.27, they do 0.5 standard deviation, they do a 1. But either way, even if you had just targeted this low right here, you're going to get at least a 1 to 2. But yeah, OTEs are powerful. They work. And I like to use them as confluence around breakers, fair value gaps, order blocks. I do use them. Not solely completely by themselves, but as part of an overall building a picture of, you know, what I would like to see and expect to happen. Oh boy. What's up, Beeswax? David Dreams, good morning. Alpha Bridge, hello. John Jones, it's weird that the daily time frame for the futures version of US 30 is similar, but definitely not the same. The daily fair value gaps are in different places. Yeah, that's just the difference between, you know, futures, true futures, and these what are they called, CFDs, or just however their brokers and liquidity providers trade them. So they are similar. They are not identical, but they are similar. They're similar enough that you can get your higher time frame draw. You can get your directional bias at least. For entries, it may not be exactly the same, but it's gonna be close enough. Good morning, George Tucker. Says Muhammad Sayyam, I wish my bad days were 4.85 risk reward. I agree. Nothing to be upset about. Congrats on the badge. Well deserved. Thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Bilemansky, good afternoon, everyone. Congrats on the badge. Great to see it. I didn't think the badge was going to be that big of a deal, but I guess it is. I'm grateful that I have it, and maybe I should be more excited about it. I am excited about it. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, but I think you all think it is. So cool. Took 0.5% loss. That's all. Corey's down 0.5% on the funded. That's nothing, man. We've been down 6%, down 4%, down 6%, up, down 2%. Is what it is. It just happens. Texas Knight. Hello, Texas. What's up? If ICT was a football coach, he'd say that he's the author of the forward pass. That is a very true statement, John. He wrote the rule book. He didn't start playing football until football had been around for 50 years, but then took claim for all of the rules that wherein football is played. Bene, yeah, I was going to say he probably would say he coded it like that. I agree. Yeah, it's just data. I mean, that's all it is. He's just smart enough, and I say smart enough, to just see patterns. And over time, he's been trading since the late or mid 90s. So, I mean, he's got 30 years of just watching charts and watching candles print. You see things and you start understanding things in a new way when you've got that much experience behind you. So, what's up, Cisco? OTE really works, especially higher time frame OTE. Without the OT level confirmation, I don't enter. Yeah, it's a good rule to have. And Bakong, good afternoon, Bakong. Welcome in, man. So we're just chilling, boys. We're just chilling. We're just hanging out and watching and waiting. We're going to wait to see if we can get some type of liquidity grab on one side or the other. And then can we get displacement back through in an opposite direction? And it would, like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if you see the dollar come back up into these levels. I don't know that it needs to make a new high. This was my higher time frame drawn liquidity for the DXY. Could get back up there. I don't know that it's going to. It could. My preference is to see the dollar. I think if it's going to go up there, my preference is to see the dollar weaken and take out a low, one of these swing lows on the 15-minute time frame, and then see displacement higher. So that's what I would prefer to see. That does stay more in line with my original higher time frame bias is to see a bullish dollar. So I would feel less confident about seeing this get run and then displacement through. But if it does, it's fine. There's obviously clear sell side liquidity down here it could tap into. So it's fine. Oh, I did see also Bespoke is launching a competition. Bespoke is launching a competition in September. It's actually pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can find that. I'm going to pull this up because this is really awesome. So I have a love-hate relationship with giveaways, and I have a love-hate relationship with competitions. So this is the first competition they're going to have, September trading competition. So it's completely free. And first place, you win a $200K challenge and $4,000 cash for whoever wins the September trading competition. Second and third place get a $100K challenge and some cash. 4th through 10th get $100K only. The top 20 or 11 through 20 gets 50. 21 through 30 gets a 25. And if you're one of the top 50 competition, you get a 10K challenge. So the thing I like about trading competitions is, you can't even see all of that because of my bar and my banner. Well, I guess you can see most of it. It's fine. The thing I like about trading competitions is they can scratch that itch to just be in a trade. So if you have a competition account, There's no there. It's worth taking a gamble, I guess I could say. It's worth gambling a little bit with the competition accounts. You're not going to win a competition accounts in an account unless you're very lucky and you've been right about some big gambles. So if you're just looking to scratch that degen itch to be in a trade and to over leverage or to have a tight stop and take advantage of it and get a right call, trade news, and get that big spike in the right direction, that kind of stuff. These competition accounts are where you do it. You're not going to blow up your funded account. You're not going to blow up your challenge. It's truly just pure fun that if you get lucky and you hit a few big wins, you could win a challenge. And maybe if you get really lucky, you could win a big chunk of cash. But you're going to see the people who typically win these trading competitions, they're up 60, 70, 80%, some 100% flip their accounts. So, but they're just lucky. No one can trade like that on a real challenge or a real funded account. It's pure luck. Absolute 100% pure luck. But they're fun to have. They are fun to have. So it's good for the trading community. It's good for the firm. And people like to use them. So if you want, sign up for your free trading competition and get that account, and you can use it just to, if you're even thinking about using Bespoke, it would let you at least see how their spreads are. You could see how their execution works, kind of get familiar with the dashboard and the back end and all that kind of stuff. So definitely, I highly recommend the competition accounts. I've had competition. I haven't had one all summer, but I did have them in the spring, and I would use them just to completely gamble. You throw whatever their max lot is. Every competition is going to have a max lot size you can use. So let's say it's 5. You just go on gold and you put a max lot on the Gilded Gal, and you just cross your fingers and hope you're lucky and hope it trends for 3 or 4 weeks. And you just hold that trade for 3 or 4 weeks. And at the end of it, wherever it is, that's where it is. And maybe you get a free challenge out of it. So take advantage of the September trading competition. This is pretty cool. There's a lot of firms that do these. You could have 3 or 4 of these across different firms and just you just have to understand, however it is that you trade on a competition account, you're never, ever, ever going to trade like that on a live challenge or a funded account. So this is the hate side of the relationship that I have with trading competitions. The love side is that it does let you scratch that itch and you can get lucky and you can win challenges. So I love that. The hate side is that it can build in gambling habits that will wreck your challenges and funded accounts. If you don't have the self-discipline and the mental and emotional capacity to separate the two and understand this is a game, this is business, that's what I hate about them, is that it just feeds that gambling mentality a little bit. So love-hate relationship with them. I'm more than capable of having a competition account and just having fun with it and not letting that affect how I'm ever going to come in and just approach the markets on a consistent day in and day out basis. So take advantage of that. I think it could help you. It could help you. All right, so we're coming into the 8 o'clock hour again. I'm not going to be taking any moves. I'm not going to be calling any setups until after 8:30 when unemployment claims and the core durable goods orders numbers come out. That will be the 15-minute candle that happens after that. Then I'll start looking to see if we have any setups for today. But until then, we're just hanging and chatting and talking. So let me get back over. We will be doing, what's today, Thursday? We're doing a giveaway tomorrow. We're doing a 10K account giveaway tomorrow. Let's go. So somebody here on the live stream is going to win a 10K account. And I mean, we'll probably just do it the same way we've been doing it. I'll just tweet something out. You guys go retweet it, and then we'll pick a winner. Then next month I may change it up, but it's been fine doing it like that this month. It's worked well. I think everybody that's won this month has been basically a regular streamer. They're on here all the time. And for this first month of sponsorship, that's really what I wanted to keep it as, is just rewarding my OG loyal my loyal followers. I really am so grateful for you guys. I seriously did not think that just 3 months into the live stream that it would be where it's at already. Certainly didn't think we would have picked up a stream sponsor. Certainly didn't think there would be between 30, 40, 50 people watching every day. And by the end of the stream, it's actually, the real numbers are around 200. We have about 200 people that come in and out of the stream. 200 unique viewers. So that's kind of cool. I never really, while we average, between 30 and 40 pretty consistently all the way to the end of the stream, people come and go. And by the end of it, we've typically had around 200 people show up. So never in my wildest dreams thought that just after 3 months we would be there. So I'm so grateful for you guys. And that's why I want you guys to get these accounts and take advantage of them. Cisco says, I really didn't understand the huge dollar move yesterday. Felt way over the top to me. Well, it was just news related. The move happened during the London session, and then it was just a retrace. We chopped and then retraced that huge news move. And so we're just basically back to where we were before the news hit. But the news dropped us into our higher time frame drawn liquidity. We swept this red line is the old weekly low. This orange box here, or whatever color you want to call it, I don't know what color it is, brown, orange. That's a daily fair value gap, and we would expect price to support any downward movement. Fair value gaps would support it to pull it off, to push it back up. So that's what happened. We hit liquidity, and we hit a PD array, fair value gap, rebalanced price a little bit, and we've moved higher. So we'll see what happens now. But we're basically back right where we were before the news. So while I'm still leaning bearish, again, my preference would be to see a 15-minute high get run and then displacement away. So we'll see if we can identify any move like that. This is not a liquidity run right here. I know you're seeing this stab up. That's not a liquidity run. That does not qualify for me to, even though you're seeing this displacement, this is not a liquidity run. I want to see a significant high taken out, either this high or one of these swing highs up here. This is not a significant high. That does not qualify for me. I want to see the dollar take out this swing low or this swing low, or just, it could displace lower here. It could take out this liquidity, reach up into this fair value gap, reverse, displace below here, and then I can target this sell side on the dollar, which would be these buy side targets up here on GU and EU. If we get a quick move down and then displace higher, then we could be looking for some of this buy side liquidity up there. I just saw Bespoke tweet something. Let me get back over there. It was about the competition accounts. That's why I need to see what they. Competition trading accounts will be on MT5. So they'll run the competition on MT5, which makes me think they will. I wonder if they're going to use Think Markets or ACAP. Oh, well, one tweet says MT5 and one tweet says MT4. So I don't know. I'm wondering what their rules will be. I haven't been over to the website to see yet what exactly the rules are. I just saw the post and thought it'd be worth talking about. All right. So we just about to get into the 8 o'clock hour here. H says on DXY, I was expecting that daily volume imbalance as the draw on liquidity, but the reaction started to make more sense when I noticed it filled a 4-hour fair value gap. Correct. Cisco, yeah, I've registered for the competition. Don't expect to win or anything, but going to use it partly to test a new strategy I'm working on. That's cool. That's another way to view the use of a competition account. Try out your new strategy, see how it works in a live environment. Trader Omar says, what do you mean by HTF OTE? HTF is higher time frame. So your 4-hour, your daily, your weekly time frames, those are HTF, higher time frame. OTE means optimal trade entry, and that is an ICT concept. The optimal trade entry is a fib tool where you draw a fib from the last swing leg, from the high to the low, and the 0.5 that's not part of it. The 0.62 is the lowest level of the optimal trade entry. The 0.79 is the highest level of the optimal trade entry, and kind of the sweet spot, the Goldilocks zone, is the 0.705. So you just look to take an entry either right at the 0.62, or you could target in between one of these levels, or the top level or the middle level. It's just somewhere in there you're looking for an entry. But if you would just say, I'm going to enter at the 0.62 and I'm going to put my stop above the top of the fib, and I'm going to target the bottom of that extension or some standard deviation like 0.27 or 0.5 or a 1.0. That's all you're doing. So that's the OTE, is optimal trade entry. It's an ICT smart money concept. Finally seeing some displacement here lower as we reach into the last couple minutes of the 7 o'clock hour. You're seeing a push lower. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Push lower, rebalancing some of these areas here. We've taken out some buy side. You are starting to get some displacement lower. Low of the week could be in target. I'm going to wait and see. I think right here you're going to see price stall out around this old swing weekly low, where it stalled out here, popped through, broke through. It could come back down, just rebalance. You had sell side inefficiency. You had buy side inefficiency. So there was never any really clean price action down through these levels. So that volume, that gap right here, along with this large imbalance, I could see, again, why price would want to reach back down into that level. It may want to just run here. It may run for this low. I think this is the low of the week, but I could be wrong. I'm wrong just as often as I'm right, I feel like, most of the time with my analysis. So GU makes a lot more sense to make a new low, again, because of the relative equal lows. It just only barely touched and took out that low. So it makes more sense for GU to me to run lower here and take out make a new low of the week. Makes more sense on GU than it does EU for me, but Cisco, by the way, what's the badge you were talking about before? The badge on Twitter, Bespoke has basically just a publicly affiliated partner with Bespoke. So next to my Twitter handle, it has Venator Trading, has the blue check mark, and then it's got the Bespoke badge next to it as an official affiliate partner. Dad says the problem is your subconscious sees everything, and when you start to gamble like that, it forms bad habits. That is the love-hate relationship. 100%. That's the love-hate relationship with competition accounts. It can help you scratch that itch. And if you can view it just as like, I'm playing a video game here, I'm not taking this seriously. It's a complete roll of the dice. It's totally luck. If you can separate those, then they're well worth it. If you can't, it's probably not going to be helpful for you. I think for profitable traders, they're cool because they're just another way that you can either one, like Cisco was saying, or somebody H was saying, I can't remember who it was, Muhammad. You can test out a new strategy. You can use it to test out a strategy that you're working on. Others can just test it to complete fun. You want to trade the news, you want to trade NFP, you want to trade the interest rate decision, throw on a 5-lot, guess, and maybe you're right. And you get this massive pop and you immediately make 25% of your account. It happens. Cisco says, annoyingly, they said no EAs on the competition, so can't use it to test my EA. Well, that kind of stinks. Core says, I made 60% on my first day in the Smart Prop Trader competition this month. They breached my account when I didn't break any rule. I would have came in top 10 easily. Did they say why they breached it? Did you like over leverage? Why would they just? It doesn't make. I don't know why they would just breach it. There had to have been some reason that they gave you of that you broke that account. Trading Night says competition gives traders bad habits in their trading because you take risks normally you won't. That is the entire reason you have a competition account. 100%. I have enough bad habits and don't need it positively reinforced. Yeah, I get it. That's what I'm saying, man. It's a love-hate relationship. You can it's just a complete casino gamble, 100%. No doubt about it. Nice and Joe says gold looks like will break structure and possible downside move. Get my ex's name out of your mouth. We don't talk about the Gilded Gallon here. It triggers trauma for us. Nah, I'm just kidding. What if there are 2 fair value gaps in a 4-hour time frame? Do we wait it out or take a trade based on the first fair value gap formed? The answer is yes. Yes, you can wait it out. Yes, you can take the first fair value gap. No matter what so let's say we have 2 fair value gaps right here, right on GU. Let's just say we have 2 fair value gaps. We want to trade an entry. You could take the first one, and that's fine. You still need to put your stop above the candle that created the highest fair value gap, which would be this swing level. So to get a 1 to 2, you're going to need to get that much room out of that trade. Now you might get triggered and you might hit it, but you have a very large stop loss versus taking the higher fair value gap gives you a tighter stop, and you only to get it 1 to 2, you only need to get that. So you might miss more moves by waiting for the higher fair value gap to get tapped. But you also, when you get triggered, you're gonna hit more take profits versus if you take the lower and you need a 1 to 2, you might get triggered, but you may not hit as many full take profits. So you just have to understand there's no right or wrong answer there. You just have to understand your system and your risk management and how you want to see all that play out. What are you more comfortable with? Are you comfortable with getting swerved and not getting every entry that you are anticipating? Or are you more comfortable with knowing I'm going to get in a lot of trades, but I also am comfortable with not taking a full take profit all the time because price has to move pretty far based on the stop loss size. Ben A, is there a certain level of drawdown where you would, yes, when I hit 8% drawdown, I will cut my risk in half. Sime, you should have kept your GU trade open. Your TP1 would have just hit. Yep. GU just hit my TP. Way to go, Muhammad. Literally missed 1.5% profit. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. You got to follow your rules. You got to let the trade do what the trade's going to do. Once you're in a trade, don't mess with it. Just follow your rules. You don't go to break even, or it's a stop loss, it's a break even, or it's a full take profit. Don't let those emotions start messing with your system management. I'm in EU for almost 5 hours, not even TP1 hit. Well, you've got some good skills to hold that out for the last 5 hours. I thought I saw something saying we have the option for both MT4 and MT5. Yeah, I think it is. I saw they put two tweets out. One said MT4, the other one said MT5, so I'm guessing it's both. My guess is they'll use Think Markets just to kind of get people more accustomed to using Think Markets. I've never used Think Markets, so I'd have no experience with them. Oh, they put it in their Discord. Okay, cool. It's MT5. Awesome. Bastian Schultz. I don't want an EA. I want a challenge. Venator Brad. Brad handouts. Bastian, you can just be back tomorrow and maybe win an account. People love breaching rules and say they didn't. I think I think there's times when you actually do take a trades and you didn't realize you broke a rule, but you did, and then you get breached. So GU reaching right bound into this little gap right here, and you can see it's having a nice little reaction off of it. EU has not reached the gap. It has not reached this last weekly low here, so you're getting a nice displacement above on UJ right here. This is what we were talking about earlier in the stream already. UJ on the 1 hour time frame, you now have this hourly breaker right here. Drop down to the 30-minute, same thing. You get this 30-minute breaker. This could be your breaker setup. You need to put it below. I would probably put it below here. And then that's my TP right there. So if you can get a pullback here on the dollar at all, any kind of retracement on the dollar, UJ, that's kind of what I would look for. If I was using the 1 hour, yeah, this might be more in line. Grab liquidity, you've displaced through, comes back down. I think I would just use the bodies here of that 30-minute order block. So that's a nice looking setup. Again, no trade called here until after the news hits. So we're going to wait until after the news hits. We're not just going to get into a trade one candle before the unemployment claim numbers come out. We'll wait until after to see what kind of reaction we can get. But that's a nice looking breaker block here on UJ. It's a nice looking setup here. You have your run of liquidity, clear run of liquidity, taps into a daily breaker. As soon as it taps into sell side liquidity, we get an aggressive reaction away from it. So we are bullish UJ. We've been in an uptrend. Now that we've seen on a lower time frame, a higher time frame draw of liquidity get tapped into in an aggressive move away, that's the breaker setup you're looking for right there. On the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, Same. Same on the 4 hour. This last up close candle, we run liquidity, we displace through it. Same. I mean, you would look for a retrace back down into this order block, along with you have you're gonna have a fair value gap. It's all of that. This is looking. I like that setup here on UJ. Unless we get some crazy news that just tanks the dollar, I would anticipate that could be a really nice play. So we'll wait. That's a nice looking chat pair trade. US 30. It's just chopping. It's right in the middle of its 4 hour chop zone here. Not a whole lot of. I mean, this is not high probability. Nothing here. High probability. Nothing at all. You just have sell side liquidity targets. You have buy side liquidity targets. If you wanted to try to convince yourself there was something there, again, these lows are what I would be most interested in. You did get a slight break and run of buy side liquidity. It wasn't the top of the range. It was close to the top of the range. You didn't get a clean displacement through. So there's just nothing clean there. I just don't like any of that. Wait for 8:30 and maybe the 9:30 open before you see anything else there. UJ is the prettiest looking setup so far. Man, dollars pumping hard. This fair value gap has now been violated, leaving behind a balanced price range. So this fair value gap overlaps with this fair value gap. Basha says, Bad, please give a challenge based on reality, not life. Everything can be picked by YouTube comment picker AI. I want to share my screen. Well, yeah, you're not. I'm not going to let you share your screen right here, Bastion. And I do not just hand out challenges based on quote unquote life. It is. I just do it through giveaways. So it's just the picker. You qualify, you have a great chance of winning. Your best chance of winning a giveaway is probably right here on the live stream, because there's usually only 30 or 40 people. And as long as you follow the rules, you have as good of a chance as anybody. But it's not going to be just based on life. To as Z. I want to see where it's going. I've seen many times your entries. I'm losing since 2021. I'm loser. We're all just professional losers, Bastion. There is a video that you can watch on my YouTube page that breaks down the strategies step by step. Every single thing that I look for before I take a trade. It's just a ICT breaker setup, and you can Google ICT breaker, and there's a ton of other videos besides mine out there that will show you exactly what the ICT breaker is. But if you want to know what we're doing here on the live stream, you can just watch that YouTube video on my channel, the trading strategy, the $10K to $2 million trading strategy, and it lays it all out for you. And every time I call a trade here, I walk you through exactly like this right here. We had a run of liquidity. We've had all of this run of liquidity on the 1 hour time frame. Look, you ran this liquidity, you ran this old low, you ran this old low, And then as soon as you ran that low, you've had a quick energetic displacement higher. Once you trade back through, this candle initiated that run of liquidity. This up close candle, it initiated that run of liquidity. Once it's displaced through and it leaves behind a fair value gap, you look for an entry. I look for it about halfway through the breaker in line with that fair value gap, and then I target a 1 to 2. That's it. That's the whole system. That's the whole strategy. And I have an over 50% win rate over the last 100 trades in a live market. So that's the strategy, my friend. And you don't have to use it. This is not the strategy you have to use. I'm not here to convince you to use this strategy. I'm here to show you that a simple mechanical strategy that you just sit down and you trade every single day and you follow the rules as strictly as you can, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. But you don't have to use this strategy. Saeem, your second TP would have also just hit if you used the TPs I told you to. Oof. Y'all rubbing it in Muhammad's face today, man. Don't pour salt in the wound of that guy. He's already feeling bad enough. Trying to get this internalized, ready to use this forever. Let's just practice, man. You're going to need to back test it. Obviously, live testing is the best way, and the best education you can get is just live testing in the markets, taking those setups every single day. They don't show up every single day, so you're not going to trade every single day. But when you see them, you execute them, you take them, and they work out. So, all right, we got about 12 more minutes here until we get our news release, and then we'll be free to fire. Safety's off, and we'll be ready to look for a setup. I do like this UJ setup here, so we'll see how that plays out. Would be nice to see a sweet little pullback there. Oh boy. Let's see. I'm thankful for you going live. Well, cool, man. I'm glad you're finding it helpful. I hope it continues to be helpful for you, and we're here every day. We're here every day trying to do what we can for the trading community, trying to help you guys as much as possible. So if you're finding it useful, I'm grateful. Muhammad says, I got the best entry I could have ever got TradingView. If I just stick with my rules, I would have passed phase one. Oh, it hurts. But don't, man, you can't let that mentally mess you up, Muhammad. You can't let that don't let it play all the mental games of, oh, I could have done this. Now, it sucks that you didn't follow your rules. Let this be a learning experience. Don't go in and revenge trade. Don't try to convince yourself there's another setup. The best thing is probably just to close the charts today and just be like, lesson learned. I get it. I'm going to follow my rules. Win or loss, good or bad, I'm going to follow my rules. And then come back tomorrow. And it's fine, man. These setups happen all the time. You know it happens all the time now. So just let the numbers play out. In YouTube, no one other than you can share screen, right? It's not correct. Not unless I invite you onto my channel and give you access. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, if we did a Discord, if we do any kind of session in Discord, then I can let you share your screen there. But you can share screenshots in Discord. But unless I'm live, I'm not going to let you guys just take over the stream. Probably not a good idea. Agreed, H. Doesn't matter, man. You can't worry about it. You cannot worry about it. You didn't follow your rules, but you still made money. That's what you should be excited about, is that you identified your setup, you executed it, and you made profit. You didn't make the profit you should have because you didn't follow your rules. That's the penalty for not following your rules. Today, it's you didn't make all the profit you could have. Then just, yeah, take a screenshot. If you're in the Discord channel, if you're not in Discord, I can throw it up. There's the Discord channel in the chat. You can just take a screenshot. There's a trade idea channel, or you can just throw it in the general chat, wherever you want. But we can look at it over there. About 8 more minutes, and then we're just chilling. We're just chilling here. See what kind of reaction we get off this news. It'd be nice to see, again, what I'm hoping on GJ is that we can run these lows and then we get displacement away. That's what I'm kind of hoping on GJ. UJ, again, you're getting a nice displacement higher here after this run of liquidity. Yep. I'm digging it. But we're in a holding pattern until the red folder news comes out in 6 minutes. The first guy called me by my real name. Really? So Saeem is your real name, not Muhammad? Is it Saeem or Saeem? I don't know how to I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but yeah, LOL, man, great word, man. The market does not care about your feelings. The market doesn't even know you exist. The market's just moving. It doesn't even know we exist, okay? That's why it's not because it's just like, oh, I don't care about these traders' feelings. The market, it's just moving. It's just moving. And we're just trying to capitalize on the way that it moves on repetitive patterns. That's really what it is. Pattern trading. Breaker is a pattern. OTE is a pattern. The new day opening gap is a pattern. The turtle soup, it's a pattern. So these are all just patterns that play out repetitively, and you're just trying to identify the pattern that you feel like you understand the best and can execute at a high level. There's no feelings involved. It's just the market moving. It just moves. I just oh, you're itis. I got you. I will watch that video and see what I can see. I can see that there's a bunch of stuff on your screen. Oof. Bastion, I'm not sure. I mean, I can't just see your screen super well with that. It's better if you can do a screenshot. But there's so much stuff on your charts, it's hard for me to tell what's going on with any of that, buddy. Maybe someone else can watch that video in the trade ideas and help him out. But it's hard for me to see that. I couldn't really make out what was going on there. Screenshots are going to be way easier than you just videoing your screen from about a foot away. It's hard for me to get any detail on that. So screenshots are better. Cisco, only just remember to like the stream. Yeah, come on, man. Like the stream, y'all. No, I'm kidding. I would appreciate it if you like the stream. It's up to like 28, so that's a good amount. It's a good amount of people watching the stream and liking the stream, so I'm happy with that. All right, just a couple more minutes here, and we'll be into our news release. Surname is Muhammad. Gotcha. Saeem says, Idis, how are you seeing the chart? My head is literally spinning. You can Google turtle soup. Google, just YouTube turtle soup, ICT. There's a lot of videos out there. It's just another strategy. I mean, don't try to jump from strategy to strategy. Pick one strategy, master it, and then move on if you need another one. Don't just jump around from strategy to strategy, please. All right, we've got another 60 seconds here, and then we've got our news event, and then we'll be free to fire after that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with our news and see if we can find any kind of setup here worth participating in. Oh, Forex Factory. I'll pull that up while we're watching. I'll leave it here on UJ because that's the most likely scenario that we might have an opportunity with. We'll see. It would be a shame if news comes down Wixen and it just takes off. I don't know really what I want to see here other than the entry not get slapped right away. Durable goods orders came in a lot lower than expected. They were expecting -4. And the actual came in at -5.2. And the unemployment numbers, they were expecting 239, and it came in a little bit lower at 230. The core durable goods orders rose 0.5%. So obviously good news for the dollar there. Getting a little bit of a pump. Nothing dramatic happening, which is kind of nice to see. Maybe we can just get some GJ getting nothing. UJ tapping into some buy side here. The daily high is up here, so yesterday's daily high is 145,874. So that's yesterday's daily high up here. So that's kind of nice. This is actually kind of looking, I think, setting up pretty good here for a little breaker setup here on the 1 hour. Right here. I'm going to let this 15-minute candle print, and then I'll make a decision on UJ. GU, really nothing here to speak of. If it wants to continue lower, that's fine. There's no real, again, I said this is not clean enough for me. This is not a run of liquidity. This little pop right there, that's not a good enough clean run of liquidity for me. And EU, same, like there's just no, that's just not quite enough for me. I would have preferred to see a nice old swing high taken out. I hope, if anything, you guys are learning that when you see me do these setups, they all look exactly the same. My entries are all the same. The fair value gaps are all in the same, basically the same places. Just the consistency to execute the same setup over and over and over. I mean, this is exactly, like, I hope that you're learning that. You see it and you execute it. I hope that's one thing that you're learning, is that be patient, just wait, and then when you see it, execute it. And they all should look pretty much the same. And I think if you go back and watch the streams, almost every trade that we've taken since we started this in early May, they've all pretty much looked exactly the same. There's not very much variance on my entries or my setups. Kirby told me I have to dislike your stream. That I would completely believe you. I totally 100% believe Kirby would tell you to hate everything that I do. He would definitely lift his leg on my laptop and piss all over it if I gave him the opportunity. Every trade that I call out, he just gags at. I promise you he does. How do I make my chart look so clean? I mean, you go into the property settings and you just change your colors. So my down close is whatever that one is. My bullish candles or whatever that one is. That's it. My background is just dark. Dollar finding quite a bit of strength here. Maybe we make a new high and get that draw liquidity. Euro dollar definitely looks like it wants to run those lows. Oof. So strong, man. Just ripping. Could be one of those days where we get no opportunity to participate. Looks like London was probably the best opportunity to get involved there. And New York's just going to continue to run without any kind of healthy retracements or liquidity grabs. The liquidity grab was London, and then it's just that's all the liquidity it needed to get, and then New York's just going to tank. My goodness. My goodness. That is an aggressive run. And that's going to be kind of sucky. This was a great little. I was really hoping we could just get a small little rollover into this breaker block. And it may still do it. It may be tomorrow. And maybe it runs up overnight. It comes back and taps into that. But it doesn't look like right now we're going to get any kind of opportunity to catch any further move to the upside on a pullback. What would Kirby do if he met Jim the Wonder Dog? He would definitely try to hump him. 100%. Definitely would try to hump him. It would be the most inappropriate and disrespectful introduction to Jim the Wonder Dog that he's probably ever had in his life. because Kirby is just that. That's who Kirby is. He's like, you think you're cool? No. Bend over. I still have my doubts about Jim the Wonder Dog, by the way. I still don't believe all of the. I think a lot of it is just over time the mythological nature of how people remember things. Can you show your EU USD chart? Yeah, I mean it's there. It is. There it is. How do I keep my screen so clean? Uh, well, I'm not sure what you're asking. I take off all the indicators. There's no indicators on here. And then I just showed you these colors already. They're just, that's the down close candle. That's the up close candle. And the background is just dark. Dark mode or whatever you call it. Looks like we're going to make a new low of the week today. We've rebalanced all of that price action. We took out the buy side liquidity. We've displaced through. 1 hour actually has a nice little breaker right there. If you had used that 1 hour breaker, last down close candle, we initiated that last run up, tapped into buy side, displaced through. And you've got your, didn't quite get up to 50% entry. Maybe could have had a sniper. More to love. But on the 1 hour time frame, nice little breaker there. He's not going to go potty today? All right, 15-minute candles closed. I don't see us getting that UJ set up there, so I'm gonna take that off. It is still a valid hourly breaker, and you could still get an entry, but I don't think it's gonna happen right now. I think that could be a tomorrow thing, but it's just ripping currently. We'll keep an eye on it tomorrow. We'll come back and look and see how that played out. Everything else is running aggressively away with no retracements. So, man, my stomach is growling. Someone give me suggestion. What kind of suggestion do you need, Saeem? Bastion Salt says both entries going to lose big or win big. Again, Bastion, I'm having a real problem seeing the screen recording that you put in the Discord, so I don't know how to comment or really help you. I'm not even sure what your question is or if you have one. We'll be doing a giveaway here tomorrow, guys. I'm not sure what time, probably like, I think there's, tomorrow we do have news, not till 10 o'clock. That's when Powell speaks tomorrow. If a setup forms early in the session, I could take it and potentially be at break even before he starts talking at 10. We'll probably do the giveaway around 8:30 or 9, but I'll let you know when the stream starts. I'll let you know. I'll tweet it out. Maybe tomorrow or sometime today, I'll tweet out giveaway tomorrow at whatever time. But you will have to be here on the live stream to win the 10K count. So that will happen tomorrow. I'm not thinking we're going to get much more happening here. Our move was right after the news and it didn't give any kind of pullback. It's just rocketed off. For us to get any other further kind of setup, we're going to need some massive displacement to the upside, which would be counter trend. So we're just going to probably call it a day here for us. If we get off the stream and I do see something else, I'll be sure to tweet it out and put it in the Discord. But for now, it looks like everything's just running pretty aggressively and there's not going to be much more opportunity to get into a decent setup today. And that happens. We're day traders, but that doesn't mean we trade every day. And that means you just watch and wait. London gave some good setups today, the London session. So hopefully some of you guys are able to take advantage of that. But for the New York session, it's just a runaway train. So we're going to get out of the way and let it do its thing. And we'll come back tomorrow and look for some more setups. But we will be doing our giveaway. So make sure you're back tomorrow. All right, y'all. Stay safe. Happy hunting. And hang out over in the Discord. I'll be in there in and out today and on Twitter for sure. But you guys stay safe. Happy hunting. And we'll catch y'all tomorrow morning. Adios.